What is your favorite anime?
Mine's Skrillex.
Skrillex.
I'm so distanced from human sensibilities and stuff.
Was getting caught part of your plan?
Put your tray tables up and your seat in that full, upright position. Because this is The Flight Plan, the official podcast, the big guy for you scanlations, Japan's #1 Bane posting manga scanlation podcast. Join the flight crew, Tom and Aiden, as we bounce about all the anime, the manga, and the scanlation content. Tom, what are we all about today?
Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. You know, I would stop. Actually, I was hoping that you would stop me and say, oh, that's copyright, dude. You can't say that.
Oh, I guess it is, yeah.
But I feel like I heard like a year or two ago that copyright has expired. So it's like, it's public domain now. I don't know if that's true.
I think they said it was going to expire. I don't know.
Did they Mickey Mouse it, perhaps?
Probably. It's big birthday songs.
Yeah, Disney strikes again. Big birthday.
Does Disney own it?
Disney owns every
that's probably
entertainment.
true, yeah. You know, I saw something today that they own the Alien franchise, so someone was like, it's going to be in Kingdom Hearts.
Nice.
It's like,
and ESPN too, so, what's his name? Manning guy.
Peyton Manning.
No.
Bradley Cooper.
No. DB Cooper. This is
Ted
like
Kaczynski, I don't know.
This is like a Shiritori game, you know, where they like say a word in Japanese and then whatever the final syllable is, the next guy has to say a word that starts with that.
Yeah, there's also like the threads where you have to post something that's related to the thing above you. Like,
sure,
it's, like,
I'm
it's
sure it's
kind of like a telephone game, but like intentional.
Same concept, same energy, as they say.
Well, we're all full of energy this week because this is the 1 year anniversary to the day of when we published the first episode of The Flight Plan, everybody's favorite anime manga scanlation podcast. Isn't this exciting, you guys?
Join the flight crew. Tom and Aiden. Just do the opening again. I can't think of that guy's name. What's the guy's name?
I don't know.
The guy. Oh, John Madden.
Oh. Hey there, people. It's John. It's like the Saturday Night Live, back when it used to be funny. That was the best skits Allegedly. They would have him do. Yeah. And he would just get so upset. He burned his fingers on the popcorn maker. He's like, oh.
I don't remember that. It was before my time. When I was a young Zoomer.
I was like 5 years old. Yeah, that's when that came out. You know, I was born in 2000. 2001.
Yep.
9/11.
So, not that there's any risk of us getting to the main topic, but before we do get to it, what kind of top of the show stuff do we have?
We had our old friend Emilia Familia comment on the new series that we're doing, or rather new...
I don't know what it is.
With our new content schedule, with our new content show thing, where we review the chapters that we do. He says, "Oh my God, I love this manga. I haven't read it in a while. It must have so many new chapters. Love your shit, guys. You deserve hundreds of thousands of views." And I tend to agree. Yeah.
Wow, that really hits me right in my heart ego.
Yeah, and you know, and if you weren't already upgraded to business class, first class passenger, you are now. So welcome aboard.
I hate to break the news to him though, although I'm sure by now he's figured it out. There aren't a whole lot new chapters. I think chapter 12 just came out today, which is when we're recording this. So, oops.
He also asks, have you guys read Beast and His Pet High School Girl? It's so degenerate, it's good. I mean, I might have read it, but I only know by like the Japanese titles, so I don't know what it translates to. That reminds me of Baka Angel and her demon friend. You know, that awesome one that has like the amazing, not only is it an amazing story with SpongeBob memes in it, but it's also like really good drawn art. It's like, I swear he must do like doujins, because like the girl's face, like I think her name is Akane or something.
Probably Akane.
Yeah. I figured that out.
That's
after.
The main character name in Monster Girl Village. What do they mean by that?
I don't know, man. Why do all Japanese people have the same name?
It really makes me think.
Yeah.
There's only it's Jackie Chan, right? They're all named Chan.
Yeah. Is that where that came from? Is that why they're all called Chans?
No, it's because it's a common name.
I was making a bit. I'll cut that out.
I bet.
I was gonna imply, is that where the suffix Chan came from? Is from because they're paying homage to Jackie Chan.
Oh, Japanese do steal everything from Chinese. Yeah. I don't know though. I think we should check that out. Maybe as a manga minute. It depends on how degenerate it is, I guess.
I almost want to, just so I can answer your question properly, I want to Google that.
Then pause the recording, at least spiritually.
Unsurprisingly, I actually have read this one.
Ah, yes.
You could be mistaken by the cover to think that it's furry related, but it's not. It's just an inversion of tropes where like it's a beast dimension, and he's just getting a pet that's a human. I forget a lot about it, but I'll have to see if there's new chapters from when I read it. I think I read it when there were like maybe just 2 or 3 chapters. So I'll have to go back and look at it. Certainly, it seems pretty wholesome to be considered degenerate, but I only just reread chapter 1, so I don't know. It's more like,
Who can say? we'll have to find out.
Maybe we'll do a manga minute of that sometime.
Yeah.
What a long, strange trip it has been, and I'm glad you guys are all here with me. Tom, what was the best part of this all?
What, like the past year of Big Guy For You Enterprises?
Yeah, what was your favorite part?
I don't know, quitting and ending it, the whole thing, crashing the plane with no survivors.
Every week when we get to kill ourselves, that's the best.
Although we keep coming back to life. Curses.
It's
the Jesus curse.
It's like Mysterio from South Park. Yeah.
Does he die?
Yeah, it's Kenny. So Kenny dies. Canonically, he dies every episode.
Yes.
And he gets brought back to life. Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking Butters when you said Mysterio. The guy who...
yeah, that's Professor Chaos.
That's okay. Yeah, that's right.
Now, what was the best episode?
This one for sure.
This is the best episode. Every new episode is the best episode. That's why you gotta like and subscribe and hit that bell icon and share it with your friends.
Well, jokes aside, I mean, I feel like these last 4 or 5 episodes, we finally got some decent audio quality, and
I think that goes a long way.
Yeah. We still need to work on you interrupting me, and anytime I do it to you, that doesn't happen. It's not real. You edit the audio to make it seem as though I'm doing it.
I'm absolutely sure that's the case.
Well, you heard it here, folks. That's an admission of guilt. What was your favorite part? I didn't really prepare a favorite part, so you caught me off guard.
Well, I think the best part is just all the fame and money we've got now. We've all got girlfriends now and waifus, and we're just so rich that now we get to do this for free. I think that was my favorite part, was the millions of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, if really the true flight plan was the millions of dollars we made along the way.
Maybe the treasure was the millions of dollars we found.
Maybe the treasure was an actual monetary treasure. Who would have guessed?
What if the treasure was this treasure chest we found?
It wasn't
all this gold. Yeah. What if it actually was all the gold?
There's no life lesson to learn. It's money. That's the life lesson.
Overall, before we started, you were talking about our spiritual sister podcast, Let Me Tell You About, and we were talking about how we were curious about what their growth was. So I have a friend who does a completely unrelated podcast, and he said he went from like 10 views on an episode to basically in 3 months after like he did it for an entire year, getting like, less than 10 views an episode, and then just one day it just kind of like ballooned and it hit like a critical mass of algorithmic type feeds or content, or maybe he just got good enough that he made a good episode. Maybe that's what we're slowly creeping towards, is good content.
Every episode's good.
Maybe we're creeping towards excellent content. But he was saying it was a weird break where he just woke up one day and started getting 2,000 views an episode. So
cool.
Yeah, so that's what we're shooting for.
And that friend, his name was Albert Einstein.
And we all clapped.
Yep. The whole bus stood up and clapped.
But that kind of makes me think of like, what are other similar podcasts in this niche doing? Like, do you listen to any other anime podcast?
Kind of, actually. I do listen to, well, I think they stopped it now, but Digibro and one of his PCP buddies, they did a episodely review type discussion on Shield Hero.
Oh, well, see, they do that with multiple seasons.
Yeah.
Or multiple like shows.
I don't know.
It's an ongoing, not trope, but series they do with different series. That word is, used for both things, but
right.
You understand what I mean. Yeah, I think the only real content creator I'll watch on YouTube or podcasts with anime is Digibro. Sometimes I don't know. Do you count Nick Redica as anime now?
I don't know. He's an anime lawyer, so yes.
Yeah,
he's adjacent. I don't know. I mean, in terms of anime stuff, I don't even know of too many anime podcasts.
We're kind of in a good place in the sense that we don't copy other people. It's completely original content. Do not steal.
100%. All killer, no filler. That's the motto, which I copied from somewhere.
Because we're not really influenced by what other people are doing, in a sense. Because we don't watch anything.
Yeah, I mean, I do watch some anime YouTubers. I watch the occasional Giguk, or I watch some Digibro stuff. I know there's a couple of Eye Patch Wolf. He's cool.
I've heard of some of these people,
Yeah.
but I haven't watched them.
Yeah.
You know who I do want to give a shout out to, and he doesn't make videos anymore, but his YouTube is Paper Chaz. He does chatting about cartoon books, which is just a fantastic series. It's hilarious, but he doesn't really put out videos anymore. But I understand the dilemma of the tortured YouTube creator that doesn't want to produce content because, you know, it just doesn't get as many views as you want, or it doesn't get the reception you want. You spend 12 hours editing a video, 400 views, you're like, is that really a good use of my time?
The only good part about producing content is like the second that you click post and you're like, oh, I'm done,
Yeah.
and then 2
That
seconds later,
dopamine rush.
the next cycle begins. I have to start cleaning the next chapter already, you know, that kind of feeling.
Yeah, well, we've been thinking about like how to branch out and do other things, and I know we're now the BG4U media conglomerate company.
Yeah, that's it.
Because we also work on.
Well, I think our logo needs changing from BG4U scanlations to translations.
Well, it has been.
I haven't changed it anyway.
Well, I made the logo and gave it to you, so that's on you.
Well, whatever.
I want to do an updated version because I threw this logo together in like literally 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And the plain logo needs to be vectorized. It's a normal JPEG that I like upscaled, so it looks really choppy if you zoom in. So I'd like to do a modern version of it, like do a
season 2 kind of feel to it. Yeah, that'd be neat.
And one of the cool things that I know we threw around was maybe how Manga Dex has interviews with people. Like, it would be cool to do an interview, like, with other scanlators. Well, you couldn't really do it in text. I was thinking maybe we could read out what they have to say, which would be one way to do it.
Yeah, that would be a way to do it.
Like, we role play as, like, one of us picks it, like, today I'm Stalker Scans.
You know, I've thought of that, too, independently, that same idea, and I think it would be kind of awkward, actually.
Yeah,
and
I would rather have people come on and talk.
The problem with that, though, is, like, I don't know, are anime scanlators talkable people? I mean, we can barely string together a sentence.
I think if we found the people that are already outgoing and already volunteer to be like interviewed on Manga Dex or something, they'd be definitely open to that. Probably some of the bigger guys. We'll have a team large enough that somebody on there will be not introverted enough, you know, like they'll be less introverted.
And it's not like we would only have to get like the translator or like the leader or whatever. We could even just get like a cleaner dude and like, I'm sure it would be compelling enough, at least for me. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it'll definitely be on us to provide the on rails track to keep things interesting. We wouldn't want to ever impose on a guest by having them carry a whole episode.
Sure.
Or a segment even. It could just be a quick brief interview. It's like every once in a while I'll run into a thread where somebody's posting a live translation, or like a Stalker posts all the time his new translation of, what is it called? What's Tiny Kohai called?
I have no idea. Oh, is that the one where they're like, he's like holding up a tiny little office worker girl?
Yeah.
And he's like
she's got green hair, and it's that one I like. It's colored, and it's only like 4 pages, but it's great. He'll post his translations live, and it's awesome. You know, I was thinking in the last thread, I was like, hey, I'll ask him to do this, but I'm like, we don't have the infrastructure to do that yet.
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll set up a Discord, but not today.
I did allude to this earlier, but we did start the new... I keep going back to the word series, but it's not a series. The new show. Well, the new show, because series is a different... Series in the context of manga scanlators would be new IP property.
Oh, okay, new manga?
Yeah, so we started a new show.
New series... sorry, I did it too. A new list of webisodes.
Yeah, where basically, if you saw last week's production, we went through and talked about the scanlating process of Chapter 11 of Monster Girl Village and our different thoughts on the plot and who Best Girl was and a lot of other cool stuff that you'll definitely want to check out. It's a popular video. It's also in the RSS feed. So I think we're going to also continue with that as well.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a neat idea, and I was inspired by that Digibro and Best Guy Ever is his buddy who did that. I was inspired by them doing that episodely video thing for Shield Hero. I think it's a cool idea. I don't know, that's it. I wonder if it could bring more views to the manga. Probably not, just given the popularity disparity between like the podcast content and manga content, but you never know.
I think it definitely could, and I know for a fact that the YouTube channel and the views get crazy when we start doing clips, and I've been slacking on that. That's mostly my thing, is segmenting clips and then finding background images and things like that for them, clips from the podcast, and those views go up really high when we like those are what gets viral. And then you come for the clips of Nagatoro, and then you stay to hear the compelling friendship simulator that we provide.
Right. So perhaps this new video franchise will be clip-like in its performance, we'll say.
Yeah, I think that does have to do a lot with the thumbnail and title and the taggings on YouTube in particular. So I don't know if I wanted to keep that as a standard for a series. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll see. It'll depend on.
And if it fails, then I blame you.
Yeah. in my last dying breath, I curse you, Zoidberg.
Yep.
For the future, this is what I'm thinking. Some of the properties get less views than arguably what they should get.
Some of the mangas, the manga
some
series,
of the IPs. I was thinking, since I'm on Manga Dex all the time looking for like new things, and I can tell normally by the first chapter if it's gonna pop off or not. And I can't like put into words why I feel like that way. It's a combination of the art style, the characters, the subject matter, and the novelty. And you know, this sounds very obvious in the thing.
It's all about the girls. How scantily clad are they? What's their trope?
I think that's not just about that. I think it's also about the relationship between the girls and the MC. I feel like the ones that have a insertable MC you can self-insert into them do so much better. Or
Right.
just an MC that is present. Because I feel like the problem with Monster Girl Village and Antarctic Girls and things like that is like it's too far on the Bashel test. You know what I mean?
Which one's that?
It's a thing to see if literature or a movie or something is sexist. If there's two girls talking about not guys, it passes. I think this is too far. It's only girls talking. There's no dynamics.
Is that related to, or maybe like a corollary to the one where if you can describe a female character with something other than her looks or something like that, or what she does? I don't know. It's some weird thing. Yeah,
it's probably like one of the qualities of the Bachnell or Bashel or whatever.
Right.
The bitch test.
Well, I will lend a little bit of credence to that. I think. Wait, no. Actually, I think Monster Girl Village gets better views than Sword Girl, but Sword Girl had like an insertable male MC.
Well, I mean, it's not like a guaranteed thing all the time.
Right.
But I think there is a component to that, and it's like most of the popular ones, at least that I read, are rom-coms and have some type of dynamic where if you don't want to be the MC, I feel like it's like I would want to be the MC, and that's why I read a lot of the rom-coms. Like he's in a favorable position. So if I was Sheephead from Nagatoro, I'd be playing things much differently. I'd be teasing her back, and she'd be my GF by now. That's why I self-insert to that. And actually, in Nagatoro, slowly he's becoming a little bit better, and she's becoming better as well. So
perhaps being less of a sheephead and more of a ramhead.
It's very deep.
Yeah, is that what they call him, sheephead, or is that like a fan name?
No, well, they said he was like his hair is fuzzy like a sheep.
Yeah,
I can't remember what his name is, what his nickname was, or any of that. But I just remember that. I don't remember what his name is.
Oh, so you made that up? That's not like a real nickname.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
But I know they compared his hair to a sheep before, and
Yeah.
they had like little images and stuff on that. So what I think is for the next manga, we search for one together in the sense like we can look through the raws. One, we have to find a good place to find current raws or something that's like.
Yeah.
Like,
so that was a problem that I found a lot when I was trying to find series to like look into to scanlate. I would find like maybe 50% of the times I could find raws, and the other times like I just had to abandon the idea. Because I'm not opposed to buying raws if I need to, but if I'm checking out a series, I kind of, I'd like some preview.
Yeah, I understand that, and you kind of want to see how it goes. So I was thinking, what we do is next property, we pick 2 or 3, and then scanlate the first chapter of each, and then put them out at around the same amount of time.
Right. Well, why not even the same day?
Same time. Yeah. Well, that's on you.
Well, I wouldn't do it 3 in 1 week. I would do like 3 in 3 weeks and put them out at the end of the third week.
And then see what does better, and then by whatever gets the most views, by you guys voting on that with your views, vote
with your
money.
wallet.
Yeah, vote with your wallet. Whoever
Bribe
donates
us.
more, yeah, we'll work on that one.
Like the Mountain Dew contest, basically. I mean, everything that I know is in terms of Mountain Dew contests. Yeah, I think that's a neat idea. Let's see. So I think we're on chapter 12 right now of Monster Girl, and there's 20. So that's like about 8 more weeks if I don't miss a week. And then probably 3 more weeks on that. So that's like 3 months maybe, that contest.
Well, we could always start early, and then you could start, like, do a couple pages every week of one. So you know what I mean? So you have...
Well,
but then we wouldn't be able to get a current manga.
yeah, I would
so
be
it is a
doing that
problem.
instead, yeah. I'm lazy. I can't do 2 chapters in a week. I've done it before, but it's not good.
If you guys want to volunteer to clean some manga,
Well, for some of them, that's like the easy part. I don't know. It always fluctuates. If you want to do all of the process, hit me up.
what about also finding some like Twitter one-shots or Pixiv dojins or something like that? Those are always really popular. I see
Yeah.
them on the front page of MangaDex all the time. Like, yeah, I can't even think of any because I read them so often. I just read 2 one-shots today, and it only takes like 5 minutes to read. I'm sure it takes longer to scan late, but that's like a one and done. Can you sort by just one-shots in general? Because then that could be a good marketing strategy to get views.
I don't know. It's been a long time, like about a year or so since I've searched on manga updates. I don't know if you can filter by one shot or not. Yeah. In terms of doing one shots, though, it does kind of go against one of my main like philosophies in which I want to collect a physical trophy. And you can't do that with a one-shot Twitter manga.
No, that's true, but you can look at it this way. Look at it as an advertisement for the podcast or for your other works.
Could be, yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah, I guess there is merit to that idea then, in that regard. And I have done 2 chapter 1s that, I never picked up the series. I mean,
are they posted?
No. One was Egg Star for that contest.
Okay, yeah.
And then the other was Asebi and the Sky Adventurers, whatever that one was called.
Oh, yeah, that got picked up anyway.
Yeah, neither of those 2 will be posted.
Yeah, you don't want to... Yeah, because they're already out there.
Yeah,
and then one's an official thing, so you can't do that.
Exactly.
I had this fun thought. You turned it down, but I thought it would be fun. I wanted to go to Kaguya and snipe the release every time they release a 14-day delay on MangaDex.
Right, yeah, that's just wrong.
So Jamini's box, and we've talked about this before, they put a 14-day delay on every chapter that they release on MangaDex, which to me is unacceptable. They're trying to get you to go to their website that's laggy and doesn't look very good and things like that, so they can sell you ad revenue and things like that.
Well, don't other sites like, I don't know, Manga Rock or Manga Fox or just any of the other, like the complete piratey, double pirate ones, wouldn't they have them?
Yeah, every other site has it, but MangaDex is supposed to be good for the scanlators, so they're like, we'll let you put a delay. I think it should be maximum 7 days.
Well, I mean, it really doesn't matter.
It matters for my convenience, and all the comments there are, mostly in my corner for this, and I won't go to their site out of the principle of it. If it was a 24-hour, 48-hour, 3-day, even a week delay, I might be more lenient, but 14 days, 2 weeks, that's too much.
Yeah.
You shouldn't allow it. So I was thinking the bar to do a new version of a chapter on MangaDex is it has to be either modified in some way, like better typesetting or color or better cleaning, something like that, or a slightly different translation. So I was thinking, use the bulk of their translated stuff, and then any place where they took a leeway with like vocabulary or phrasing, you just change the phrasing. And then there you go, brand new thing. You pump it out, it takes no work, and you get to snipe them every week for 50K views.
I think every part of that goes against my morals and ethics.
But it's it's like a Robin Hood thing. You're stealing from the rich to give to the poor, us. And these rich are unethical.
Like all business fat cats, am I right?
Late stage capitalism.
Yeah.
Am I right, you guys?
Woke scanlators. That's
there you
my
go.
thing.
That's the new.
We steal from woke scanlators because we're rebranding as bespoke.
You know how
scanlators.
to really do that and actually get goodwill is to colorize the manga. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that because that takes more work than it. But
those don't even look good. Colored manga
you can
does not
do
look that good.
Okay,
Especially
I'm
not
sure
fan colored.
there are people that would disagree. I mean, certainly me coloring it would not look good, but that would be a way to garner support and take away all their views. I think that's a
so
win-win.
weird. No, that's just bizarre. That's insane.
Well, that's kind of the update we had for you guys. I just want to extend another thank you to everybody who's flying along with us on the flight plan. It's been a good year so far, and here's to many, many more.
Indeed. And that sounds like a conclusion thing. How do you go to Mega Minute from that?
Well, you know what else we're going to have many more of? Many more Manga Minutes. That's going to be MMMM. Many more Manga Minutes.
Nice.com. www.mmm.www.
100 days. MMMMMM. Like, .com.
You know,
Rick and Morty forever.
Yeah, take that part out. We've done that joke before.
We've done all these jokes before.
You know, it's actually been a long time, I feel like, since the last Mega Minute. It's been a New York minute, I would say, since the last Mega Minute.
Look, did you see what he did, you guys? Do you see how he did that?
You know, it feels like so long ago. Like, the last one we did might have been, like, in the 20th century, don't you think, boys?
This is my brain on BioShock. It's exploding right now.
Because we're going to talk about Monster by author of the 20th... No, skip that part. Because, of course... If you sleuths... No, screw that.
Because if you didn't get it by his subtle references, we're going to talk about 20th Century Boys.
Indeed.
An amazing classic.
Yeah, and we both read this, like, probably a decade ago, right? When we were young, dumb, stupid kids.
Young little Zoomers. Lil Zoom, they called us.
Before we aged out of being a Zoomer. It's just like an age bracket now. It's not a generation, it's an age bracket.
So the plot kind of goes like this. Humanity, having faced extinction at the end of the 20th century, would not have entered the new millennium if it weren't for them. In 1969, during their youth, they created a symbol. In 1997, as the coming disaster slowly starts to unfold, that symbol returns. This is the story of a group of boys who tried to save the world. I just got goosebumps reading that, you guys. It's so awesome.
Wow, epic, dude. Simply epic.
Dude, simply Eric.
Now, I don't know about you, but when I read this way back when, I think... I was too retarded, and I still am, apparently.
You were too reset arid.
Yes. I was too stupid, I think, to actually follow the plot, because it's kind of convoluted.
You know, I followed it up until about 70% of the way, and then I was like, I always have a problem with Japanese names anyway, so when they started talking about people, I just got lost.
Oh, yeah, and even me, like now, because I'm not bad with names, I get it, but there were, like, character reveals where it's like, I was so-and-so the whole time. Remind me who so-and-so was?
Yeah,
like,
that's, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of characters to keep track of, and there's like 3-4 different time periods that they jump back and forth between all the time. I mean, it's a really cool thing. I marathoned it in like 2 days. I was only going to read just a little bit to kind of, get the nostalgia going, but I couldn't put it down. Every chapter ends on like such a good cliffhanger. In fact, it's funny. There were a few chapters like, there's this one point towards the end, 3 chapters in a row end on the same cliffhanger. Where, like, it'll say, like, oh, I'm here to kill you. That's just a made-up thing. And then it's, like, the next chapter will be, like, 2 other characters. And then it'll flash back to the I'm here to kill you scene just for, like, a page.
Just to get you on the same...
I know, yeah, it was so funny. But
why don't you give us a brief rundown of, like, the plot that's more explained than what I said?
Yeah, so I will give you a hot take that I could not have given you back when I read it because the terminology had not yet existed for this.
Cucks.
No. Actually, I guess the terminology did. It's just I wasn't really aware of the dynamic. This is like kind of a boomer quest mixed with Forrest Gump, mixed with like saving the world.
Well, the boomer quest is to save the world through rock and roll.
Basically, yeah. There are a lot of like rock and roll, especially towards the end, like rock and roll saves the world and like hippie stuff. Like there's a lot of, I mean, the name 20th Century Boys is an homage to the song 20th Century Boy. The whole conceit is kind of based around these kids, and they grew up like, they're boomers, so they grew up like in the 60s, 70s or so. They like would play pretend as all kids would do, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna save the world one day. And they wrote like a book of prophecy, which is like, here's how the bad guy will take over. He'll make robots. He'll gas like, city in this order. Like as they grow up, this stuff starts to happen, and it's kind of like a mystery. It's like, well, who's who's friend, which is like the main bad guy. He's like, he wears a mask basically, and nobody cared who he was until he put on a mask.
Wow.
Funny that.
I can't believe you got to pull that around. That's great.
And there's just a whole lot of intrigue, a whole lot of like mystery and stuff. I don't know, dude. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I remember really enjoying it when I read it, and I kind of want to reread it, but it's so daunting. It took you 2 days, so it's like it's a long time sink.
Yeah, it's like 250 chapters, and then there's a 16 chapter epilogue type thing, sequel, whatever you would want to call it. But kind of like what I was saying though, that this is almost like a boomer fantasy. You know, I'm guilty of having like these same thoughts where it's like, wouldn't it be cool if like, you know, our group of childhood friends ended up all being cool guys and affected like the world stage. You know, like everyone thinks like that. Yeah. And these ones actually do though. It's just so funny. Like so many times throughout the series, somebody will be talking like, "What? They're gonna gas Tokyo and then blow up the city with a giant mech?" It's like, that's like a child's game. It's like, it is. Like they would say that so many times. It was awesome.
That's because it is, and we did it.
It is. The whole thing's absurd. Like how all the characters like grow up and stuff. So there's one point where there's like a symbol that they created as kids that friend adopted, and that became like his like flag.
The windmill of friendship.
No. It's just like, it's like I don't know, finger pointing.
It's a pointer
basically,
finger with an eye on it. You've probably seen it, honestly, because it's a very popular anime image.
Yeah. When the main character, Kenji, he's about to, like, fight friend, and he's trying to get all of his childhood friends together. They're all, like, adults now and stuff. Some of them have kids, are married, divorced, you know, all that good stuff. And he faxes them the picture. He's like, it's time we take this symbol back. It's just, like, it's kind of, like, overly dramatic, but it's really fun in that way. It's not campy, but... it easily could be if it had a different tone.
You used his name there instead of friend.
No, Kenji's the main character.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because I was gonna say like you just spoiled like the whole thing, but that was actually gonna segue into another thing. At the end, they reveal who a friend is, and he's like the main antagonist through the entire story.
Yep.
And he was supposed to be one of their friends, but like I didn't remember who he was by the time that they renounced him. He's like. No. Oh, Steven? It was you all along? And then it's like, who is Steven? I just read 200 chapters.
Yep.
That was like a year ago that I read a chapter with Steven in it. And he was probably a background character. I don't even remember what the story was. He's like just like one of those poorly renditioned, like low resolution faces in the background. It was you all along.
Yeah, and the problem is like the author does a really decent job of keeping the characters looking the same even when they're kids versus like 40 years old. Like you can still pretty easily figure out like who's who just based on the faces, but a lot of the kids like had like weird masks, like they would wear masks and stuff all the time.
Yeah, which was another thing.
So it gets hard to like remember who's supposed to be who. I don't know. I don't want to say too much without spoiling it. Not that I even know really who Fred was to spoil it.
And it's already like a 30-year-old manga, so if you know, but maybe you know since we're all Zoomers here, you haven't heard of this manga, so you're gonna go read it. So I don't want to spoil the ending of it, unlike the normal ways that we do spoil the endings of most things because they're current and it's like whatever.
Yeah,
this one's such a boomer classic that most people today haven't read it. I think
I would agree with that. Yeah, I bet it's pretty,
and it's really good. Like if you like any shonen arcs or big epic long stories, this is one for sure.
If you like classic rock and the themes therein,
like JoJo,
kinda, yeah.
It's got that same vibe. It came out of the same generation of JoJo in the sense, like, you know, that all the Japanese back then in the 80s or whatever, in the 70s, 90s, whatever, loved rock and things like that. The main antagonist, Kenji's even wearing one of those boomer bucket hats.
Kenji's the main guy. He's protagonist. You said antagonist.
Oh. Well, whatever. Yeah. I'll edit that in.
But yeah, he looks pretty boomer when he grows up because they are boomers. Like I have to keep stressing this. Like
they grow up from kids, like really young kids, not like Ichigo is 14 years old in the anime. No, I mean they were actually 14.
And you know how boomers and you know our generation too. We just haven't had the age to like demonstrate this yet. But I predict we'll be the same, if not worse, about reliving your childhood and making your childhood the best core central thing ever.
I'm a 90s kid. Sip.
There was a Reddit post that you sent me where the guy's like, am I the bad guy for banning Fortnite because I brought a Nintendo 64 for my kid to play and he wouldn't respect my childhood, so I had to ban Fortnite.
Imagine like respect my childhood games. Like,
I know.
Like, what is the respect?
That's not the mentality, but it's similar to what happens in that, like, everything that they dreamt up as kids ends up becoming the world. Like, Japan, the World Fair Expo thing was big when they were kids, and, like, they wanted to go see it. Like, Friend's whole, like, evil plan or whatever revolved around recreating that. Like, and he recreated, like, their whole, like, couple blocks that they lived on in, like, the school.
It's kind of a, like, historical revisionism, because these boomers ended up creating their vision, whereas in our real-life boomers had a vision, but then had it turn into a vicious hellscape that we all currently live in. So they had the opposite.
So was that, though. I mean, in the manga. Like, it's almost like post-apocalyptic, you know, in a way.
Oh, so then it's very accurate, yes.
Yeah. It's realistic fiction, for sure. I don't really have anywhere to segue into this, but there's one scene that was so funny to me. There's this guy, one of the kids, when he grew up, at one point he's like driving across America with his son.
Based.
And they have like a food truck, basically, like soba noodles. They come across like a town where it's like, for whatever reason, like everyone died except for like one kid. And it's like, how did you survive, kid? What happened here? Blah, blah, blah. So-and-so came and, you know, helped me out. And I survived and everyone died. And he's like, so-and-so? And then the kid's like, yeah, they said their name was such and such. He's like, oh. And then he's like, where's so-and-so now? Oh, they went to, you know, whatever place. He's like, oh my God, kids, get in the van. Talking to like his kid, and now like he's bringing the orphan kid along. It's like, what are we doing, Dad? We're gonna go save the world. It's like, so like, it's not boomer, but for me it felt like such like a, I don't know, self-importance or something. It's like,
quick kids, get the N64 controllers in my Monster Ultra Zero.
No, that's 30-year-old boomer. This is real boomers.
Quick, get the AC/DC.
Exactly.
Get my electric guitar. We're gonna save the world with rock.
No, because that orphan kid was actually playing 20th Century Boy like on a broom, and then the dude knew it.
Oh, the classics, back when there was real music.
It's just
not like
so
this
funny.
beep and boops of today.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. It was such an enjoyable manga. I can't say that enough. And it felt weird because I was reading it and I got engrossed in it at one point. And it's like, it didn't feel like manga. Like, maybe
it's
I don't
a really
read
good
enough.
story.
Yeah,
That's
it
why.
just felt like a good story. That's
so
what it was.
It could realistically be a like literature or anything like that.
I think it won awards.
Yeah, well, the format on MangaDex, normally you'll say 4 or manga or whatever. The format here just says award winning, which is weird. I'm pretty sure it's been changed into a live action movie so a lot of different things. Yeah, I mean, it was a very well respected at the time in 2001. I was 1 year old or something. I don't even know.
Yeah. And I think it's also because it was seinen, and I don't ever read like seinen anything. I only read shonen trash, but it felt more like mature, and I don't mean like, oh, just super adult themes, but like, I think like we said, it felt like a real story versus like, oh, I'm gonna be the Hokage.
True.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's not a power level creep shonen story.
A little bit.
That's well, no, it's not like
I know.
It's in battling manga or things like that. So it is about the narrative, which is a good thing. Not to say that the art's not good, because it's pretty good.
I really like it. Yeah, and I think it reminded me of Space Bros in the regard that it's like a real kind of mature-ish story,
which I'd never read. I'm trying to think of something that's comparable that I've read that's also seen in maybe Dorohedoro. It's not anywhere near the same genre, but it has a large seinen style narrative, which is pretty good. I'm trying to think of other seinens that I've read.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it now. I just don't think I've read that many, which is kind of...
I'm sure if... because a lot of them are marked that, and you still don't know what it is, but I'm sure if we went through a list, you'd be able to... I mean, even nowadays... Oh, look, I searched for seinen, and look what pops up on the first page of MangaDex.
Oh, yeah, Monster Girl Village. Is that seinen?
Yeah, so like I said, you've read a lot of seinen, but you don't know it.
That's weird. Maybe because... What's the criteria? Because it doesn't have, like, furigana?
I think that's part of it, but I also think if it's mature themes.
There's nothing mature themed about Monster Girl Village.
They're all naked monster girls.
They're not naked.
This one on the cover...
Yeah, she's kind of she's a floozy the way she dresses, but I don't know about that. Anyway, before we pivot off from, I mean, this is kind of extra manga minute, but it's a neat aside that we can transition into. the author who did 20th Century Boys, he kind of hosts or runs a TV show, and I think it's called Mon Ben. What they do is they go around, they put video cameras, like 6 or so, in like a random manga artist. Every episode's a different manga artist. They put it in their studio and they film them for like a week as they draw manga, and then they like talk about the process and stuff. I watched an episode of it. It's like really cool stuff.
That sounds really cool. That's going to be our next series where we lock you in a room and watch you scanlate.
Well, I have a video of that.
Excellent.
Well, not with cameras, but yeah, I did like a whole mini chapter.
Oh, yeah, no, but I mean, the thing is to watch you toil and hunch over your computer screen. We can put one of those masks on, one of the head masks from the guy who does Nier. We can give you one of those.
Yeah, it might be hard to see in those, but
he cuts eye holes, right? I mean, he's got something.
Know.
What about a Daft Punk helmet?
I'll get a friend mask.
Ooh, just use your fursona head.
Oh, my fursuit? No. Then they dox me. I'm the world's most famous furry.
Yeah. So
insert name here.
No, what was his, like, Ice Fox or something? He won all those fighting game tournaments and then used the podium of the Game Awards to, like, say something really lame.
I don't know.
His name is
that
like...
sounds pretty terrible. I mean, furry's doing anything, unless you're listening and giving us views. Furry's doing anything else. It's just... They shouldn't.
Yeah, it's Cyber Fox. That's his name.
Isn't that the name of a Firefox fork?
Yeah.
Okay. Any relation or no?
No. Maybe. Well, I know Firefox Mozilla dudes are furries. I think that was confirmed.
Everyone in tech is a furry.
You know, Discord was like... they have an entire cabal.
100%.
Oh my god, it's crazy. And then I was just reading some xenofeminist blog today that was talking about
I don't even
the
know what that
relationship.
means. Xenofeminists?
Transhumanists.
So like aliens?
Transhumanists.
Okay.
Which are comparing trans into AIs. They're saying they're the same disruptive capabilities and that they're spawn of Lilith to subvert gender norms to basically provoke humanity into going into transhumanism, and their eventual end goal is to be genderless slime balls that reproduce by it was really weird.
That's a bit too mythological for me.
Yeah, but anyway, Cyberfox is the same type of disruptor, annoying dude. You can go watch his videos of his award speech or whatever.
I think I'll pass on it. That'll be a hard pass for me.
Oh, here you go on the front page. His Fur Affinity account is there. So that's fantastic. I'm glad we have such great representation for us gamers. Truly, we are the most subjected and abused minority.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. If I wanted to get more abused, where would I go to find more abuse?
You could go to YouTube and search for the Flight Plan Podcast. You could go to the RSS feed, which is anchor.fm/theflightplan. You could go to MangaDex and search for the big guy for you scanlations. Wherever you're listening to this, there's probably a description box where you can click in the bottom. And there's also a link where you can support us by buying something on Amazon, and we get like 2.2 shekels of whatever you spend.
Two whole pennies.
Yes.
And there's also bit.ly/allcapsbg4uhq. That's the numeral 4 and letter U.
That is the brand new website. Absolutely fantastically optimized for desktop, not so much in mobile. Well, with that, and speaking of gelatinous, genderless suicides, I think we'll suicide by crashing this plane into the side of the mountain. What do you say, Tom?
I think it would turn us into gelatinous ooze. So yes.
It's full circle, just like pure pottery.
Well, is it considered surviving if you transform into a gelatinous pile of goo?
Could you really call it a life?
I don't know. I would say we would crash with no survivors.
I think that's the plan.
No sir slimers.
No sir slimers.
No slime vivers.
No slimes. Slimes, no bully.
No slimes.